Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast. I'm your host and sometimes sickly referee who remembered to put his shit on push to talk, Zach Stad Pearson. And today I'm joined by House Freeman's latest heir to the height throne, much to my dismay, Corey Troy VA.
How are you all doing? Sorry, I'm putting on push.
Yeah, I don't know what he said either. And I'm also joined by the Slayer of Monsters, the Beater of Darkers, and also the Kicker of many asses as long as he got that level straight. A one Michael Dat Hill.
Pokemon can now make dance to your dead memes now because the dog has a soul.
God damn.
We're gonna get a dog with a gun for the third version? Like, I hope. I really hope.
That would be fucking hilarious. Alright, so. Hold on, ambulance is coming. Not for me. The curse of removing within walking distance to a hospital. Topic 1. We're going to talk about the two new video game systems, the Intellivision Amico, produced by Tommy Tallarico, and of course the Google Stadia. So, for those of you participating, hey, if you ain't looked up shit, now's a good time, or if you want to look up more shit, now's a good time. I'm going to be going first today. Topic 2. Should there be a limit on game consoles? How many is too many for the marketplace? Is there a definite way to figure out where the line should be drawn? A question I've wrestled with for, at least 2 decades. And of course, typecasting in Hollywood. Although we may not be aware of it or we grown up within our whole lots typecasting, if not stereotyping, which is somehow less scary way of saying, hi, you're an actor who can only do one thing, or we'd prefer it if you only did one thing. Now we don't need your other many talents or possible abilities. Is this something that should be frowned upon as an actor, or really just an entertainer, or should you grit your teeth and bear it? What would you do if you were an actor who pretty much could never get cast to do anything except the same role over and over and over again? All right, so yeah, I'm going first. Look, I don't know where the line is. We're going to get into that in the second topic, obviously. But if there ever was a bad time for more consoles to make it onto the market, I feel like now is that time. Nintendo may have basically hybridized their console department into basically being one and the same thing, which isn't a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. Microsoft and Sony are getting ready to upgrade and give their consoles abilities that basically always do what they did last time, far out process the last systems. So, where exactly is the appeal supposed to be for these two new systems? Now, I'm not, and just so we're clear, I'm not shitting on them, maybe Google Stadia, but I'm just giving a critique about how terrible their shit is, which is going to sound a lot like topic 2, but rest assured it isn't. First off, the Amica by Intellivision, I give you some props and accolades for one very specific reason. It's a company that is being produced by game development legends and industry veterans that have an accumulated over 600 years of experience. 600 years of experience. You can't beat that. They also make their own games, much like Nintendo, and they don't just try to outsource or have a party make something and spend an insane amount of money that they can't barely maintain with the quote-unquote AAA industry. Because I really fucking hate hearing that term. You have no idea. On top of that, they're priced less than $200, and I believe you get 2 controllers out of the box. And the controllers have the built-in visual colored touchscreen. I haven't seen the PlayStation 5 controller, but I feel like it's going to have that aspect built into it. Calling it now. I feel like the biggest issue that they have isn't that they're suck or they're too cheap or the whole family is going to get into it and then leave it alone like the Wii. I feel like their problem is they should not be coming out when they're coming out. Gamers, much like most of the nation, live paycheck to paycheck. The amount of people that live paycheck to paycheck in North America alone is pretty much a little bit past the 50% mark. However, I just want to say I haven't looked at that number in 4 to 4.5 years. So basically, I haven't looked at it since Trump got into office, but I kind of don't want to be let down any more than I already am. So people know that the new councils are coming within the next 24 to 36 months. In fact, I'll just flat out say, I'll just say a flat out 30 months. Within the next 30 months, everybody's going to have a new version or an upgrade to their brand. PS5 coming, Xbone whatever, or as we like to call them when they're coming out. The next box is going to come out. The upgraded version of the Switch is even going to come out. Rest in peace, 3DS. You served us well. So then here comes 2 more people at the same time, but your claim to fame is inclusivity and accessibility. Don't get me wrong. 2 very important things I feel like certain companies don't cherish enough. But also being cheap. They're going to create some disdain on some level for their own consumers. Because you know there's going to be some kid whose parents get him a new system, but he's going to want the next iteration of what he already has. His PlayStation, his Switch, yada yada. And mommy's going to go get the Amico or 2 copies of the Amico for a little boy and little girl or whatever and say, you going to grin and bear it. And even if it has the same games, you know how children are, they have an unusual brand loyalty to the point where it's petty. But mom, all the other kids in school don't have this Amico. Everyone else got a PlayStation 5. Now, if that was me, first and foremost, I would make sure my parents know what the fuck I want. But that aside, look, you talk shit about what you get, you won't get shit. That was a house rule. So I wasn't going to say shit. But I'll be in my room crying like a little bitch. So, in summary, I give them kudos on what they've been able to accomplish. I don't want to see them fail. Because first off, when you fail at making a system, there's almost no coming back from that. Like, genuinely, there is no coming back from that. That follows you. Google Stadia. You know, I come to the podcast whether I like talking about a topic or not, always trying to give an unbiased opinion. If I hate a company or a specific person, I'm going to say I hate that company or specific person. But my opinion on them or how I feel and about the questions around them, I'll still answer without a bias. I will just mention that I also hate them. Not many people can do that. Some people would say I can't do that, but I don't know. Unless you strap a lie detector test to me, you ain't going to find out. I have mixed feelings about Google on so many levels, but when it comes to the making game system, actually I can't even call it a game system, a game streaming service. I'm a little bit disgusted. If there ever was a company that had enough money to do it, yes, it's Google. Not Apple, Google. If there ever was a company that could pull off the streaming the way that they say that they can, yes, it's Google. Not Apple, Google. But believe me when I tell you, I have absolutely no hope for this system, not because I don't respect it or don't like it, but because their entire business model is asinine. You're making a game system that only exists and functions if you have the internet. Just out of curiosity, Hill, Corey, y'all remember when Microsoft tried that when the Xbox One first came out?
Yes, it went down horribly because they also forced to connect on people too. Yeah.
You basically hand over fucking customers when you try to do restrictive bullshit like that. Because first and foremost, here's what people don't seem to understand. This is basically Netflix and Hulu for gaming. Now let me ask y'all something. Does everything on Netflix and Hulu stay on Netflix and Hulu forever?
No. And sometimes what's on there isn't even good.
So if I play a game and I beat a game and we'll say, to doing one thing away from getting the platinum trophy in that game, literally doing everything that the developers put in the game to be done, but I find out tomorrow, oh, their license expired. Tough titty. I don't even have a save file to show for it anymore. Everything they're doing completely hinges on people giving a shit about their system. So, but here's the thing. No matter how much money Google has, they can't get everything ever as an exclusive because they ain't got enough money for it. And also, a lot of exclusives are never permanent. Street Fighter V being the exception. But hey, that came out on PC, so. Basically, my whole point is, I feel like they don't realize that they're lying to their own future fan base, and no one's going to realize it till it's too late. Every person they've had review it and critique it and use it on the internet, they never say it's perfect. They never even say like it's a 9 out of 10. They usually say it's around the equivalent of a C+. Is it going to improve over time? Yes, but here's the thing. Improvement of your internet streaming service is not the same as improving your system. And you want a monthly fee on top of all the other monthly fees I gotta fuck with? Me alone, I got a high tier gym membership. I got Netflix and I got the internet. Not to mention what I have to pay my agent every month. Yay, my batteries are fully charged. Anyways, I will say this though. I'm glad they said you can use any controller you want. Not just with the one they gave you, but also they've completely removed the any form of motion control games. They're just going from that platform. Not to mention, every time Google does something high end with the internet, they quit halfway. Because they realize, oh shit, it'd cost too much to go worldwide or just national with it. Y'all don't remember this, but did y'all know Google used to be an internet service provider?
Fiber, right?
Yeah. It was some of the fastest shit that ever happened, and it was permanent. They were giving people permanent internet. They only did it for 3 cities before they stopped. They didn't suck. They didn't fail at it, but they just stopped. We all know why they stopped. Because they realized if they wanted to spread their shit, they was either going to have to buy the competition or force them out. And they didn't want to spend the money. Also, last I heard, Google Stadia can't do shit with VR. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not to mention, just like with the Amico from Tommy Tallarico, I don't know why I can't let that go. No pun intended that time. They're coming out when everybody else is getting ready to upgrade. Why though? Why now? I think they said the thing comes out near the end of the year. Some shit like that. Hey, if y'all find a release date, let me know. And to top it off, the Stadia is almost exclusively only going to be playing PC games. I don't know if y'all caught that, but 90% of everything on the Amico is a PC game. So if you got a laptop and you want to keep your game even when the license expires, why would you want to give someone $10 a month when you can buy the fucking game? I don't know. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but it's my opinion. Okay, topic 2. First question, yes, I think there should be a goddamn limit or a cap. Shit needs to be curated. That's why people have trouble with the Steam store, the Epic Game Store, and they have trouble with Nintendo's store. Nintendo shouldn't be as bad as the others, even though they're the new store. What the fuck? It's not a competition. The way I see it, a new system from a completely new person should show up in the middle of a generation, a console cycle. So this Amico, this Google Stadia, they should have come out 3.5 to 4 years ago. Because they don't have the hard battle of just getting your product to be put in a store and then having someone be convinced enough to buy it. They have to worry about that on top of everybody else releasing a new product. And the best answer they got is, well, you play the same games, but we're cheaper. That's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. I'm looking at this not as a North American, but just as a consumer in general. I'm going to give you 3 different point of views. First off, the hobbyist, as in the person who actually plays video games recreationally, you know, that guy or girl. I may buy 4 or 5, maybe 6 new games a year. And it's 50-50 if I even have an online subscription, since most of my games, even if they have a co-op mode, I do with actual human beings. Or I do them on a PC setting because I'm not paying two fees to go use the internet. I feel like I know what I'm going to get and what I'm going to get for the systems that are coming out. The Amico needs exclusives and they don't need to be hidden, but we all know they're not doing their reveal of anything until E3. So I need them to show me, hey, this cheaper system that's really, really good. Oh, we've got these games that ain't going nowhere the fuck else ever. They need something that's going to make them stand out other than we're cheaper and we're easy access. Like, nah, motherfucker. Nah. I need other shit. Anyways, as far as you, Mr. Stadia, it's basically the same. It's not a matter of exclusives for you. You need to give me guarantees. What happens if there's a thunderstorm, which does happen? What happens if data is corrupted? What happens if there's a server hack? What do you, even if you can't fix this or get people's save files and data back, what are you going to give them to make reparations? I've heard none of this from Google Stadia. The only thing I know about Google Stadia right now is that it's going to cost $10 a month. And if you get a physical device with the controller, it's $130 or something like that. And they're going to get Borderlands 3. That's all I know. It's the equivalent of a complete and total stranger offering to give you a round because they think you're a nice person. It's like, well, bitch, how do I know you're not going to kill me and throw my body in the alley and rape me? Shit. They should have introduced these systems 4 years from now, or they should have introduced these systems 3.5 to 4 years in the past. But right now it's not good. It's almost a 50-50. We're going to see what the next Xbox and PlayStation 5 look like before the end of the year. Not necessarily at E3, but at the end of the year. All right, so typecasting. I'm going to just say preferences right now by saying by traditional nature, my brand of entertainment is not acting. However, much like everybody else who has, functioning eyes and ears, I've seen actors, I've seen actors acting. I've seen them in the wild and in their natural habitats. And I know actors. However, I am an entertainer. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily an actor. My profession is usually stand-up or content creation online, but really most of that shit online is just for me. Stand-up is a stress reliever, but hey, it can pay a nigga rent from time to time. So I'm going to just say this. The problem of typecasting for me comes in when it basically means that the people who watch you and want to hire you stereotype you. That's where I have an issue. Let's think about this for a second. I'm going to just give you all an example. I'm not saying he thinks this way, but Kiefer Sutherland, of all the Sutherlands to ever become famous, he's the only one who, besides not being from this country, is famous for always portraying a patriot or some lone wolf hero who's not as masculine as your Arnolds and your Sylvester Stallones and people of those nature. But he's always the guardian of a president, a federal agent, a police officer, someone who's meant to uphold truth, justice, and the American way. So that started in around 2003, 2004. It is now 2019. If you look up his entire catalog from then to now, 70 to 80% of it will be exactly what I just told you. Kiefer Sutherland's been trying to be dramatic, comedic, action choreography, and he also has a decent level of athleticism for his age. And millions of dollars, obviously. Do you think at any point in time he woke up and told every single agent he's ever had or manager, hey, if you don't give me a role that involves something that makes it look like I'm some super lone wolf hero in America defending everything, I'm gonna fire you? Hell no. Directors did that to him. Casting and regular. Publisher did that to him. PR did that to him. Marketing did that to him. So I just think of it as a feeling of empathy. Much like with Eminem. And I'm going to abbreviate it because you guys all know it, or at least y'all have noticed it from time to time. Eminem is one of the smartest and technical hip-hop musicians that there has ever been. Or, I guess, artists, singers, whatever you want to call them. Lyricists is what I like to think of. We've come across ever since the craft's inception. And I'm not saying that because I like him a lot. I'm saying it because it's true. But when Eminem makes an album that isn't just comedy song, deep song about life pains that happened to me, and here's a list of people I hate in a comical hip hop order. When he starts talking about other things that happen, people get mad at him and say he changed or his new shit is garbage because he's not putting himself in a box and sticking in that box. So literally he'll have a division of fans who are so damn stupid they only want Eminem when he is literally being typecast, aka stereotyped. But if you go around and talk to a lot of the musicians, especially the ones that get old, rock bands, any of them, first thing they'll tell you is they don't want to do the same thing every time all the time because they would be bored. Why do you think boy bands never last longer than 3 to 4.5 years? Because their own audience they claim they don't care that they're looking at and listening to the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. But if that was true, they wouldn't change them out like the fucking diaper on a baby. Oh, what's this? Oh, you're not teenagers anymore? Time to replace you guys with the exact same shit that'll sing songs the exact same way. Written and produced by the exact same people. Oh, no, wait, let's spice it up. Let's go get some Koreans we can make do the exact same shit the exact same way. Dance the exact same routines from the exact same people. And you know what? Let's make sure the chorus is in English so people think you speak this shit. You know there's some little white girl right now who's stupid pissed at me. You just know it. I don't care. So the way I look at it, in closing, I guess, because I was going in a tangent, really. When it comes to typecasting, I empathize with the actors. I understand that sometimes you may have to do it or think you have to do it because you can't get work doing something else. But all bullshit aside, it should not happen. It should not be allowed, or at least it should be acknowledged and recognized. And the actor should immediately say, before they sign anything or see anything, hey, is this character a carbon copy of something else I've already done? At least make them aware of it. Okay, who wants to go second?
Oh, good. Was it just 2 topics? It was the television.
Boy, read. There's 3.
What's the second? What was the second one?
You know he dragged and dropped them into texting page, right?
They're in there? I'm sorry. I think I'm on the texting page.
Right above the picture of Shaq with the water bottle.
Sorry.
You want me to just say the topic's over?
No, I see it. I don't know if they'll survive. I don't think that, for topic 1, I don't think the Intellivision, and it was the Atari VCS, I think, that were announced more recently. But the television was announced back in like October. I don't want them to fail, because I don't want the company to go under and then people lose jobs. But I feel like they don't fit in anymore, because this isn't like the 1980s or like the 90s where we had like 5 consoles all at the same time, all like trying to get everyone's attention. It feels like we've had these 3 consoles, these 3 big heads of gaming for like the past decade or so, a decade and a half. And I feel like just adding and like I'd like all right, we're gonna make a new console. Like it feels off. It doesn't. I just don't think it's gonna fit in, and it's gonna just fade into existence, kind of like the Ouya, how that tried to like come back. Like I don't know, I just don't think they're gonna make it, but I don't want the companies to fail.
Google Stadia.
Oh wait, is that topic 2 is about the Stadia?
No, I'm saying you still need to talk about the Google Stadia 2 for topic 1.
Oh, the price isn't terrible, I think, right? It's like $129 and it's like $10 a month. I think it's too early. It's way too early to do the Stadia. That's all I really have for that. I more of like an idea of what I wanted to say for like topic 3, which is that I hate it when people get typecasted, because I feel like there's some form of potential being lost. Like, we could see, like, there's that guy in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air who played the brother. Or,
Carlton.
not the brother.
Alfonso Roberto.
Alphonse. And he would, like, audition for things, but he wouldn't get the role because people saw him as, like, more like a comedic character kind of thing, and nobody would take him for, like, anything serious. So he got typecasted. So I hate that kind of shit, because I feel like we could see so much more out of somebody, and it just feels like you're being robbed, and I hate it. So yeah, that's my answer for topic 3. Is it my turn?
There's only 3 of us.
Alright, so this Google thing sounds like a fucking pipe dream to me, because in my mind there's just like no way I can see it happening, because the only thing that it's offering physically is the port to hook up to your TV and a controller. Because they say, oh, we're gonna let you fucking play everything without no updates, no wait time. Like, get that shit out of here. The Steam, Uplay, and all the other fucking game fucking, I guess, services like that, where you can download a bunch of games from a bunch of different developers. Always have the wait time. There's always the download, the update, all the stuff you would expect from games this age. You cannot lie to me and tell me that you're just gonna have this magic innovation that hasn't even existed yet. Because at least Steam can at least promise me fucking faster download time, but don't lie to me and just say you can just make the impossible possible. But I'm also very curious on the whole old technology coming into the new, with the, I cannot pronounce that guy's name, who made Earthworm Jim. Because I'm all for the fucking cheap console and cheap games, because when I read an article about it, they said they're about to sell that shit for like $7 to $9. Speaking of which, the stupid $9 subscription, nah, dude, because it's just gonna, I can't see it working with that Google thing, because it's just like, all of you've done is presented this thing you give people hope for, but then it's gonna fall. I don't see it working. Now, too many game consoles. Excuse me. Yes, there's way too many right now, because most of it is just like, we're gonna keep updating the old ones you have. Ooh, Xbox 360, Xbox 60 Plus, PS3, PS3 Slim. And then we got the fucking PS4, PS4 Pro, PS4 XL, the PS4 with the terabyte built into it, Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One XL. And then new stuff they're going for Switch out, 3DS, 2DS, new 3DS, new 2DS. It's just like, let's put one more letter in front of something we already own, and then it's better, magically.
Oh, hey. Hey, Hill, did I ever tell you what happened when I tried to buy a new 3DS when it first came out?
What happened?
Oh my God. Okay, so I won't keep it long. I'll make it short. But so the new Nintendo 3DS had just come out, and as we know, there was 2 versions. There's regular, and then there's new 3DS XL. I tried to buy one. There was a Best Buy and there was a Walmart near me at the time. So I called when I was off duty on base, and I said, hey, I was wondering, do you guys have the new Nintendo 3DS? Yes, we have it used and new. Now, the thing has only been out for 1 day, so I knew that they didn't have it used. So I knew she thought I meant a new in-box or a used out-of-box regular 3DS. So I tried to explain to her. I was like, man, okay, let me rephrase that. Nintendo made a new video game system. Okay. It's the small ones, you know, the kind you can put in your pocket. Yes, we have those. Right. But they made a new version of it. But it's called the new Nintendo 3DS. Is that not what I said? So we went in a 5-minute loop, and I just got pissed and hung up the fucking phone.
This is why naming is important, because some people are older in age, or some people don't pay attention to what they...
Hey, to be fair, this was Nintendo's fault. I ain't even mad at her.
Now, the acting thing. Yes, this typecasting it's pretty dull. Because I can't really say about actors, but since I watch a lot of anime and cartoons, I can see when they just fucking reuse the same guy for the whole fucking same. Like, take fucking Jeremiah Gutwald from Code Geass. He was the same voice actor for Balmung in every iteration of Dot Hack series, and then also the voice actor for Shizuo and Durara, where they always have him as this stoic
Crispin Freeman.
character, always. Yeah.
Crispin Freeman.
And then fucking the Sasuke's actor, where he's always just condescending, edgy kid with this. My parents kicked my puppies when I was growing up. When he was Haseo, Gen, Patroclus. So they just very saturated for that one person. Which is why they also got to do things like they did for Johnny Young Bosch when he was the Power Ranger Ichigo Kun. And that was another really good one. Isaiah, stuff like that. Lelouch v. Britannia. But at the same time, he's also being drawn out as he works better as a very smart character instead of an anime protagonist. Give people more things to work with. Granted, it will be hard because you kept putting them in this light of they can only fill this role. But I'm pretty sure they could do better considering the years of practice and experience they have just being around other people in those roles.
So you do or don't like when they get typecast?
I don't, because one, you're just like dragging their name in something I can already suspect. And then two, it just like saturates the whole character because like if I just hear somebody breathe and it's just like that same actor's like, oh, well, here we go again. I can already assume what kind of character you're going to have because of the person that they cast. And that's pretty bad if I can already guess. I want to have like build up an understanding of the character instead of just saying, oh, it's Haseo number 3 now.
Breaking news, gentlemen, or potential breaking news. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but ahead of E3, Microsoft's E3 press conference is happening right now. Also, there seems to be a rumor that we're finally getting the animated Season 4 of The Last Airbender. Stay tuned for links. Also, tears.
Wait, what?
Fire. Air.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. I got a
I
lot
really
of
hope they do that
Avatar: The Last
plot
Airbender
justice
Season 4
because
video.
there's
Aaron
just
Ehaus
a lot
dropped
of
a bunch of teasers
questions
for
I would
what
like
their
answered.
Click the link.
What the fuck
Avatar:
happened?
The Last Airbender had it got a Season 4. They'd already started to make plans
My
for
phone
that
does not
right
have
around the time
battery
that the
for
live action
YouTube right
movie
now.
was getting ready to ramp up. So I know there's a lot of conflicting reports about what was going on with Avatar Season 4. Were they going to do it? Were they
I'll
not?
explain as I go.
He goes into a pretty
I'll explain as I
about
go.
what was going on behind the scenes. So we'll break it all down and talk about the storylines that they were going to do, particularly Azula, because he said he has some special plans for the Azula character. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Avatar.
They planned out Season 4,
The new Netflix series that's supposed to premiere
but
sometime next year tentatively, but that might change a little bit. I will do videos for it as soon as it gets here.
Azula was going to be featured more heavily.
So a lot of people ask what happened to Azula after the events of the TV show. Even if you don't know what their plans were for Season 4 or you haven't read the comics, she still is alive in present day. She hasn't been confirmed dead yet. And in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, unless you see someone dead or another character tells you that they're
Can y'all
dead,
hear it?
they're still alive out there somewhere just waiting to come back.
Barely.
I can't believe it. Tough? Nice to see you again, Twinkle Toes.
That's why at the beginning of Legend of Korra, when they're talking about what happened to all the original characters from Last Airbender, and you see them flash back to their adult forms, you learn about Sokka dying. So there are some characters that came back in present day, Zuko being one of the biggest ones to come back, along with Toph. But assuming that the events of Legend of Korra are meant to be present day, in present day, Azula would be in her early 90s just because she's really close in age to Zuko and he's about 91 during the last season of Legend of Korra. So at the end of season 3, she completely flies off the deep end and starts to go crazy when she's ready to be crowned
Sound louder.
Lord of the Fire Nation. Zuko challenges her to the Comet-enhanced Agna Kai, and they just completely go at it. It's
Not
an
really.
amazing battle. Then once Katara mobilizes her with her waterbending, she completely loses her shit, and they
That
lock
better?
her up. And that's the last we saw or heard about her until they started the
Yeah.
comic book series, which sort of continued that storyline. But here's the thing, typically comics aren't always canon to the main series. It's a little bit different for the Avatar The Last Airbender comics and the Legend of Korra comics because the creators are working on them themselves. So technically anything that they work on is canon. In the comics pick up right after the events of Avatar The Last Airbender Season 3, we find out what happens to Zuko's mom. I'll probably do a separate video about that because that's like a whole other hour we could spend talking about that. But while they were still in the planning phases, and they might have actually done the season 4, this is what Aaron Hee-Haw said about the actual storyline, and he focuses specifically on Azula. So he says, I always intended for Azula to have a redemption arc in the story of Avatar The Last Airbender, and he starts this giant thread. This was all back in April, just a little while ago. He goes on to say it would have been longer and far more complicated than Zuko's. She had not bottomed out yet at the end of season 3. If you thought that this was her completely off of her rocker, apparently they had planned for her to go even crazier over the top. But then at her deepest moment in her own abyss, she would have found Zuko, her brother. They say despite it all, her brother Zuko would be there for her, believing in her, sticking by her, doing his best to understand and help her hold her pain that she could no longer hold alone. Zuko, patient, forgiving, and unconditionally loving, all strengths he had gained from Uncle Iroh. So it would have been more of Zuko repaying a lot of the lessons that he got during his life-changing field trips with Team Avatar and Uncle Iroh, giving that to Azula in her future arc.
I'm going with Zuko. What? Everyone else went on a life-changing field trip with Zuko. Now it's my turn.
He goes on to say that's how she would have gotten out and changed with the faith and love of someone she had hurt but who had stuck by her anyway, just as he had been saved by the faith and love of someone he had hurt but who stuck by him, talking about Team Avatar. Although you could also say Uncle Iroh too, because he did push him away for a long time. Then he goes on to say, I'd always imagined that after coming out on the other side, she would be one of those people who hilariously overshares her own feelings all the time, and that she would be a bit over-apologetic, like a Canadian version of Azula. That does sound kind of funny, Canadian Azula. Then obviously, because people were just bombarding him with questions to clarify a lot of this and what was going on with their original plan, he answered a bunch of questions and saying it wasn't an April Fool's joke because he posted this on April 1st. So people are like, is this crazy Avatar Season 4 story just an April Fool's joke? He says, not an April Fool's joke, oops, picked a bad day for my earnest thoughts on Azula's redemption path. He always believed there would be a 4th season, and then when people were like, wait a minute, that's not exactly what people said in the past. Like Brian and Mike said that they planned on doing 3 seasons and that was it. So his answer to that is that they originally planned on 3 at the very beginning, then they discussed a 4th, and it seemed like they were going to do it. Then M. Night Shyamalan came on and they reverted to the original plan because the movie was ramping up and Mike and Brian wanted to focus more on helping him make that movie. Even though when you listen to interviews after the fact, Mike and Brian say that they tried to help out with the development of the Avatar The Last Airbender live-action movie, but all of their notes and all their input really just got pushed to the side. So almost nothing that they contributed to that actually made it to screen, which actually makes me feel better because you're already kind of bummed that we didn't get another season of Avatar The Last Airbender. Like, that would have been so cool. But then to hear that they bailed on that idea to focus on the movie, which wound up being terrible, if they had actually been responsible for some of the stuff that happened during the movie, it would have been soul-crushing. But the saving grace of it all at the end of the day is that they can now say, because all their ideas were thrown out, that they had absolutely zero to do with what happened with that live-action movie. Because the comics are canon to the main series, though, we actually do know what happened to Azula for the couple years after the events of Avatar The Last Airbender series. So each one of the different comics, like The Promise, The Search, Smoke and Shadow...
Okay, so, big recap, because I wasn't even sure about this bullshit, because, again, they announced it on April 1st. So, hold on. They were going to do it... What's up? Oh, sorry. Okay, is that better?
Yeah. It sounded like a meme for a second.
Yeah, I had turned it up to be next to the YouTube. So yeah. All right, so let me just reorganize myself real quick.
By the way, are you watching the Microsoft conference?
Nah, I don't know where to find it or what to put in on YouTube or if it started already. I know it's today though.
It did. They showed off a new trailer for Cyberpunk.
And apparently Keanu Reeves in it.
He's currently on stage talking about.
I wonder if he's gonna make a sci-fi motorcycle one day. Y'all know he owned a motorcycle company, right?
Yeah, Art.
Okay, so they weren't gonna do a season 4 in the beginning. But when the movie came to be, they said we're gonna cut it so we can focus on the movie. Of which nothing they said wanted to do or happened. Because M. Night Shyamalan's a fucking idiot who thinks he's smart. So they went on about it was basically going to be an Azula redemption season, so to speak. But the thing is, they don't know if they were going to do a season 4 anymore or ever again. So that's why they're telling people about it now. However, it actually may be possible due to the fact that, you know, Nickelodeon still holds the animation rights. Since Nickelodeon holds the animation rights, they can say yay or nay. But they're, as in Michael DiMartino and Chris, person whose name I can't remember, the original creators, they're doing the comic and the Netflix show right now. Man, I don't know if I should get my hopes up now. If they thought it out that far ahead.
That's a very...
Hey, Corey, you know, since you watching that shit, why don't you give us a link to the Microsoft conference?
Oh, sure.
The fuck? Did I not just say we should get that shit?
The main series, though, we actually do know what happened to Azula for the couple years after the events of Avatar: The Last Airbender series. So each one of the different comics, like The Promise, The Search, Smoke and Shadow, The Rift, those take place about 1 year right after the other.
Is that the only
so
conference coming up today,
so
or
it's
is there
still
more?
pretty young, but it's still a long time before the events of the flashbacks
That I know of?
Legend Korra,
Yes.
when they're in their 30s, early 40s.
I think that is what that is, baby.
Did you find the link?
I posted in our group chat. For a message.
Why do you sound so muffled?
I don't know.
Hell, does he sound muffled now to you?
Kinda. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. What chat did you fucking just put it in? What chat did you fucking put it in?
The one on Messenger.
God damn it. Okay, well, did you find out anything else other than Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk?
They're showing off Battletoads right now.
A new Battletoads.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Ready to die on jet skis again?
I'm ready to watch young people think that they can kick this game's ass die on jet skis again. Oh, that's going to be so fun watching them rage quit. I don't enjoy suffering unless they're arrogant pricks. I don't enjoy the suffering of people unless they're arrogant pricks. Man, I can kick anybody's ass. Oh, what? You just got suplexed by Dave Bautista? Let me go get this bag of popcorn real quick. So yeah, we're going to end this right here because Microsoft conference and more E3 shit. See you in the premium podcast, people.